Today is a very happy day for me. I'm 33 today. Fun fact, went on this birthday. But, because I'm excited for what's to come this year, and because 33 years ago, I was born in the same hospital on the same day, a few minutes apart, as one of my best friends for life, and that's Eric Tang. So, happy birthday, man. This one's for us, this one's for you, really, more so. And I love you, man. I'm going to sing to you at the end. But I figured, what are we going to do for When Wellness today? And I have so much fun every day thinking about, or the night before, what we're going to do the video on and learning something new. And what I thought would be most useful and most appropriate today would be to go through my daily routine and tell you guys what has worked for me, why I feel great at 33, and why age is just a number. I mean, I probably should be feeling pretty good at 33. It's almost your prime, right? But regardless, if I was 43 or 53, which I know that I'll feel great, God willing, at those ages as well. Why? What's the recipe? And before I say anything, this is what works for me. This isn't to say that, this is the best thing anybody could do. This is just what I've had success with. I'm obviously far from perfect. And, if you want to take it, take it. If you don't. But this is what has helped me to feel great mentally and physically and to be happy. All right. So every day I wake up, I make sure that I wake up very relaxed. And that's a super important thing for me. I wake up at a consistent time every day too, whether it's the weekend, weekday, any day, whether I'm working or not, which I'm not working today. We took off for the B-Day, thankfully. Even though I love what I do, I wouldn't mind doing it today. But, I'll play some chess and poker and whatever. But I wake up in a very relaxed state. And, this is kind of, aside from science, this is a trial and error thing where, throughout my life, I've noticed that if I wake up in a frenzy of any sort, you're coming out of a nightmare, whatever it is, I can't tell you how to not have nightmares, but if you do, I don't have them often, then it just really negatively affects your day. That saying, waking up on the wrong side of the bed, holds a lot of truth. And for me, I wake up really relaxed, get out of bed, and what I don't do right away, ever, is look at this thing. Look at my phone. That's the last thing I'm thinking about. I keep it face down, I go through my morning routine, and I'm just relaxed, and I'm in the present, fully in the present. So that's really the first big thing for me, is not being stressed, right? Stress is the killer above all else. You look at all these people that, they smoke 3 packs a day, which I would never recommend. Obviously, you gotta wait. It's my dog, she's out there. It's my birthday, you gotta wait. You know what's going on. And they drink and all these things, but they live till 95, they live till 100. And you look at Richard Simmons, right? People that aren't stressed and they enjoy life, that goes such a long way and so far beyond any science, so far beyond what other people tell you is healthy. Just really make sure you're not stressed. That's one of my first things. Right? Another thing we're going to talk about is not being black and white about anything. But the day starts like that. And then I go and I brush my teeth and I take a cold shower. Right? But I don't start it cold. And this, again, is just what works for me. I'm not saying it's the best thing. I start it warm. Right? So I enjoy that. I go in and I'm like, oh, this is nice. And I do this every morning. And I sit under the warm water and, whatever. And then at the end, I turn it all the way cold. Okay? And now, this has been a little bit better for me than going right into a freezing cold shower. Yeah, it'll wake you up and you get the benefits of cold shower and cold water immersion, however you want to say it. But, that's a more reasonable way of doing it, I think, for most people. And it's worked great for me. So why do I end the shower cold, right? Well, it's a form of electroshock therapy. And we've talked about this in When Wellness before. But in short, it helps you to release good endorphins. It gives you some energy and mental clarity, boosts circulation, metabolism, immune function for the rest of the day, right? And when that cold water hits my face and all over my body, I'm just kicked in, all right? And now I'm ready to start the day. So I go downstairs, and what's the first thing I do? Well, I always mix Super U, right? I have Super U every single day, and this video is not about Super U, it's about routine, but this is just a fact. I have Super U every single day, whether I'm working, whether I'm not, whatever I'm doing, and whether I'm going to go to the gym or not, right? And we'll talk about listening to your body here in a second. And I go outside, I mix the Super U up, I chug some water, so I get my daily water intake up right away, right? Also helps to promote regular bowel movements, which I have a pretty regular schedule in the morning, thankfully. And I hope everybody has a pretty regular schedule. And so I take the Super U and I go outside. I still haven't looked at the phone or anything, right? I go outside and I listen to the birds. I drink my Super U, I sip on it, and I'm just in tune with nature. And I never have shoes on when I'm doing that. So why, right? Well, I'm grounding, okay? And this seems like something that might be crazy, it might be a pseudoscience, but really do your research on grounding, also called earthing if you want to look it up. It's really beneficial for a lot of reasons, reducing stress and inflammation and stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system and reducing blood viscosity and blood pressure and all these good things it does. I feel the effects myself. And the other thing is too, I'm in nature, right? So what do we do all day? We're inside, we're working, right? Even if you're at the gym, that's primal in the aspect of movement and physical force, whatever. But you're inside, right? So I think it's really important. I know it's really important for myself to be in nature, at least for some portion of the day. And I love to do it nice and early, right? And that's how I start. And it feels so natural, it feels so right. And I sip on my Super U, and I'm not out there that long, right? So you don't have to sit out there for, you'll look at research, you'll say 30 minutes, blood viscosity was after 2 hours, dropped by 274%, whatever, right? So obviously a little bit longer, you get the benefits, but I don't have all that time to sit out there, right? I got a lot of things to do, including research for When Wellness, which we'll talk about in a second. But I stand out there and I at least relax for, say, 5 minutes, okay? I sip on the Super U. I probably drink about half of it, or maybe a quarter of it. That's how I like to enjoy it. You could drink it quick, but that's how I typically do it. I'll drink it over like 30 minutes. And I love looking forward to that when I go to bed every night. That the next morning I get to go outside and relax and sip on my Super U and nobody's around. I'm not hearing anybody talk about any stupid shit or anything. I can just relax, right? And so that's a very natural way to me to start the day, and my body responds well to that because we're not all that natural in our daily routines here in 2024 for the most part. So the Super U, what is that really doing for me? Well, a lot, and we could talk about this for hours, right? Which I love to talk about, but it gives me that sense of energy and mental clarity that just kicks me in. I mean, when I drink it, my eyes open up. And it gives me all my B vitamins. I have antioxidants, vitamin C, because I fast every day also, right? And so aside from it supporting brain health and liver health and heart health and improving blood flow and reducing inflammation in the gut, supporting a healthy gut microbiome and all these things, I'm not going to be eating for hours and hours. And so it's nice to get some vitamins right off the bat that don't break my fast either, right? Because they're involved in energy metabolism and they're involved in, thinking and building neurotransmitters and brain chemicals and all sorts of things, right? So, that's a must in my daily routine. Now, then I have my cup of Super U and I always have an extra cup of water. I fill that glass, I chug another one, right? So I'm already pretty much 2 cups deep, two tall glasses. And then, I go do my thing. And as, here's an important thing. 2 birds, 1 stone. You don't be stressed. I feel like you need to do something at every moment, but don't waste any time. Be efficient. And again, in a non-stressful sense. So if I'm going to the bathroom and I what am I going to do? I'm sitting there. Am I going to play games on my phone? I mean, if somebody really wants to do that, go ahead. Do whatever floats your boat and so you're happy, right? But for me, I plan out the whole day. Right? I don't like to waste that time. I plan out the day. I do my research for When Wellness, right? And I write down all of my goals for the day, my immediate goals. So I don't block it out in terms of time. Now, if I have my chiropractic schedule, that I'm looking at on my phone, which I also obviously have on my computer, then, I'm going to say, okay, well, I have to train this person at this time because I have a patient then, and I write it down at that time or whatever. But for the most part, I just write down what I'm going to do. And even on a day like today, I write down some things I'm definitely going to do. And when you write it down, you're so much more likely to do it, right? There's so much research behind that. People that write down their goals, some stuff says 40% more likely to achieve your goals and, whatever. It says, but you're more likely to do it, right? You generated it, you wrote it down, right? Writing's even better, but I don't sit there with paper. I just type it on my phone. And again, obviously I could be better at everything, but that's worked for me, right? So the generation effect says if you produce something, if you write it down, if you type it out, if you talk about it, right? But writing is even more powerful than just talking about it, but both are great. You're more likely to do it, right? And you'll remember it better. So then when I research for When Wellness, what do? Do I sit there and just remember everything? Well, I write it all down in my own words. And this is something that, I disagreed with throughout my high school, especially collegiate career. Everything through schooling was, why am I going to waste time sitting here and writing down all these notes? I knew kids that just rewrote them. I'm like, by the time you rewrote them, I could have read through that 3 times. And I always said, if it's a hard course, I read through it once, maybe, and slowly, and looking up anything I don't know, of course, studying, right, correctly, which they don't teach anyone to do at a young age, which is a whole nother problem. But if I read through it once, I'll probably get a C. Read through it twice, maybe I'll get a B, maybe an A, right? 3 times I should get an A, right? But you know what's even better than that? I just write it down. I type it in my own words, and I am telling you, when I do that, it's amazing. I remember it. And then I can give a lecture on it, and I don't even have to think about it. I'll practice once before, talking about it, because if you trip up on a word here or there, you're like, okay, wait, what was that? Or, this and that. But it really does a fantastic job in terms of, making you remember it, right? And so I do that. So I write down everything for the day, and as I go through the day, I check them off. And by check them off, really, I just delete them, right? I remove them from the list till that list is gone. And when the list is gone, there's a sense of fulfillment that I get that I did everything I was supposed to do today. Not that society tells me I was supposed to do, that I set out to do for myself that I was supposed to do. And that makes me feel good, right? And one of those things is a form of physical fitness, right? Also, typically, training mentally. Now, doing When Wellness is something that promotes neuroplasticity for me. I love to play chess and things of that nature as well, right? But it's important for me to make sure that I maintain mental and physical fortification in some way every day to keep myself in optimal condition, all right? So then after that, I go and I typically will work out if I have time at that moment. If I have chiropractic patients, then I go to the office, whatever it is, and I'll work out at some point later. But do I always work out? Well, the answer is no. And is there a recipe to how many days a week you should work out? Really, no. I mean, you see all different sorts of anecdotes out there. Bodybuilders that say 5 times a week, you need 2 days rest, 4 days is best, just power lift a couple days, 7 days a week. My thing is, you listen to your body. If you're healthy at least, if you're getting ample amounts of sleep every day, if you're getting 8 or 10 hours of sleep, something like that, well, you could probably be able to work out 7 days a week and recover properly. Especially even like 6 days, But I've gone through periods in my life where I had overtrained, and of course undertrained at a young age. And I try not to do either at this point. I'm healthy enough that I can just listen to my body and respond to the signals that it sends me, And I worked out really hard yesterday, and let's take today for example. I feel my muscles have been worked very hard, right? And so what I'm going to do today is just do some sort of exercise outside. But what I will definitely do is move around, and I'm excited to do what I'm going to do is a whole nother thing that we're going to talk about. Excitement, maintaining excitement for what is to come. You have to be excited about at least one thing every day. And to me, well, you don't have to, but this is what I say. I'm excited about at least something every day. And I'm going to learn at least one new thing every day. And I'm going to do at least one new thing towards the goals that I wrote down. Not for the day, for my life goals, which I had written before that. Okay, and whether you wrote them or not, which I do recommend writing them, and you could check those off over the weeks to months and years, right? Those have been really important factors for me, all right? So, I maintain that sense of excitement, and what are you alive for if you're not excited about anything? I ask so many people, what are you excited for today? And they have to sit there and think for a long time, and they can't tell me anything. You know how sad that is? What are you doing it for? What's everything you're doing in your routine today? You're going to work, it's a Monday, you're probably working. Maybe you go to the gym, maybe you do this, maybe you do that. If you're not excited for any of it, then something's got to change. You know, that's one of my favorite quotes is, if you're not excited about at least something every day, then something has to change, right? And so, you know, that's a very important thing. And it could be something that's so small. You know, I'm excited to go play those games today, right? And maybe I'll play some poker too. I love poker. We love poker here. Made some good birthday money playing poker this past year. But, you know, it's just, you know, there has to be something, right? It could be small. So what you could also be excited for is the track that you're on in itself. Like, you might have a busy day and you might have a lot ahead of you, and you might have a lot that you wrote down and you're like, this is going to be a tough day. But maybe that in itself can get you excited, right? It can get you excited that, you know, you have the willpower and the self-control to get yourself to do all of these things. And instead of being fearful about what could go wrong, you're excited about what could go right. Right? And so you're excited to conquer. And aside from any single thing you're doing, that in itself could give you excitement. And to find joy in hard work is to discover the fountain of youth. Pearl S. Buck. And I love that quote. And this isn't blind hard work, just, you know, pounding your fist against the wall, right? But, you know, if you have to work hard for something, you know, it takes some exceptional effort. It's typically going to be worth more than something that's immediately pleasurable and just easy to do and that everybody can have, right? There's a reason these rare things are worth something, whether it be a diamond or whether it be a good body or whether it be a clear mind, right? And good health. And so, you know, that is something I personally look forward to. Even if there wasn't a particular thing I said, I'm super excited for that. It could be, you know, really, I'm excited to do that for myself that day. To do all those things, to work that hard for myself. And if I'm excited about that, and if I do that for myself, it's not really for me. It's for everybody else that I love. It's for my patients, it's for my family, it's for my best friends. Anybody, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. It's anyone that I encounter that day, I can give them so much. I can give them what I've generated. If I didn't generate anything, I have nothing to give them. So even if you're just in it for other people, realize you have to improve yourself, right? So what else do we got in the routine? You guys are like, so what happens next? You've been talking. I just love this stuff, right? So passionate. And it's my birthday. I can talk as long as I want. Just kidding. So after that, now typically either go get a workout in or I'll treat my patients and right? So then I start to eat in the afternoon. Now, if I have off, I would typically like to eat in the early afternoon, which I'll probably do today. Natalie's cooking up some chili. I can't wait for that. All natural ingredients, of course. But, you know, when I cook, what do? Well, I make sure I cook. So I always cook. You know, I don't eat out. And again, I'm not black and white, where if I'm on vacation, I'm in Portland, it's funny because I actually went to a bachelor party a couple weekends ago, and what I did was I brought a bunch of wild caught salmon and flounder, wild caught of course, and things like that, so I could cook there and have it, and then have anything else as an adjunct. And at least I was, for the vast majority of my intake of food, I was natural and I was high in protein and rich healthy fats and vitamins and minerals and all these good things that make me feel great and support improved body composition, right, and mental clarity. And brain health. But then I go out and I have a burger or something. That's okay. You're worse off being really stressed than you are being so neurotic and eating rabbit food all the time, right? And so it's just a huge thing. Again, it's not being black and white and not being overly stressed, and making sure though, for the most part, that everything you eat comes from nature. And if you don't know anything about nutrition, then just know this: if you can't find it, kill it, extract it from an animal, pick it in nature, drink it in nature, you probably shouldn't be having it. And if you're going to have it, then that means you're going to have to probably cook, right? Because if you go out and you try to order something, aside from spending a lot of money, they're going to cook it in soybean oil, canola oil, rapeseed oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil, all that kind of crap. And those things are pro-inflammatory. They're rich in omega-6s. They cause chronic disease. It's just, they're terrible for your body. And so if you cook, you've now put yourself in a position where it's difficult to not be healthy, right? It's hard to not do well when you put yourself in that position, even if you don't know anything about nutrition. But if you don't know anything about nutrition, also know this. When I cook, I make sure that I make one massive meal that has all of my nutrition just about for the day. It's going to have my daily intake of protein right there. But wait, how do you eat all that at once? And we did a video on this recently. I don't, okay? I do a modified OMAD. OMAD is 1 meal a day, if you're not familiar with the term. So I do pretty much modified carnivore, modified OMAD. I would never be a carnivore or a vegetarian, and I hate the word diet. It's a lifestyle, and you just do what makes sense, and you listen to your body. Once you're healthy enough to listen to the signals it's telling you, because they're true, right? And so I make sure that, in that pan, whether it's wild-caught salmon or grass-fed beef or wild-caught flounder or some other seafood, whatever it is, it's something that is going to give me all my protein for the day. It's composed of a lot of vitamins and minerals and healthy fats. It's wild-caught. It's as local as I could possibly get it. And I cook with extra virgin olive oil or avocado oil or coconut oil, right? And extra virgin olive oil is king. Now, when I'm cooking it, here's the 2 birds, 1 stone thing. What I do is I put it all in the pan. It's a ton of food, right? It's a big pan. And I cover it. I cook it on low. Cooking on low is definitely a lot better for you than cooking on high, right? Medium heat's okay too. But when you cook on high, you change the chemical composition of, say, those healthy fats in there. Now they can become harmful to your body, right? And it doesn't have nearly the same nutritional value if you sap something of all the nutrition by frying it, roasting it up. So I cook it on low. What do I do? Now it's frozen. I didn't even have to thaw it. Typically it's frozen, right? And I put it in there and I just go do something. 2 birds, 1 stone. What do I typically do? Often when wellness, right? So now I've studied it in the morning. When I'm driving, I can talk to myself about it. I say, okay, I know it. I go throughout my day. I'll read over it one more time or talk about it to myself. And I say, all right, now I put the food on. I'm ready to go rock. Do the video, 2 birds, 1 stone. By the time I'm done and I post the video, which takes a decent amount of effort to go edit everything and whatnot, make it look good, the food is just about done, right? And so then I eat the food, and I eat not all of it, as much as I can. So I eat as much as I can in one sitting. Now, that'll be a good bit of food, right? So that's, say, 8 pieces of wild-caught salmon, my favorite meal I'll just mention. A whole bag, that's a whole bag, a family pack. I get it frozen, $4.25 a pound at Aldi, whatever, amazing deal, $4.50, whatever. Way cheaper than when you buy it in the case, which was frozen beforehand anyway, so it doesn't make a difference. The flounder, right? A whole bag of that. So it's a lot of fish. I'm looking at 15 pieces of fish, something crazy. I'm not going to sit there and stuff myself to where I'm uncomfortable. Again, I listen to my body, right? And so I eat as much as I can until I'm comfortably, relatively full. Then I'll go and I'll do something else, and whatever that is, and then I come back, and when I can eat more, I eat a little bit more. I pick it over the next few hours, right? And I make sure that I finish within a few hours before bed, at least. Now, if that one meal didn't give me everything I needed for the day, maybe I'll make a shake with, some things, vegetables and fruits and, things that are going to, help replenish the vitamins and minerals I'm lacking just from, say, the meat and whatever I had, or the grain that I had with it, typically quinoa, right? And I'll have some cottage cheese and yogurt mixed, no added sugar, of course, something like that. That will give me the rest of my protein and give me some more vitamins and minerals. Have chia seeds almost every day for my fiber, right? To get more fiber. So what are you lacking in the carnivore diet? Because eating a lot of meat is so important for improving body composition. You see that issue with a lot of vegetarians where it's anti-inflammatory, anti-carcinogenic. It'll promote longevity. It's great for your gut health. Is a vegetarian diet 100%, and I don't knock it for those reasons. You know, a carnivore diet is great for boosting body composition. You're getting a lot of protein and beta alanine, things that are involved in muscle growth and reducing acidity in your muscles and involved in cognitive function and all sorts. You're getting heme iron and complete protein. It has all the building blocks of protein your body needs to get from nature. You know, and all these good things, right? But why would we be black and white about anything? So it doesn't just go for your routine in itself and what you're doing that day and not being stressed and being black and white. And if you're out having that burger, you know, if you've already had some other good food with it, it goes for your diet, right? So I hate that word. Why would you be one or the other? Why would you be conservative or liberal? And you be whatever you want. But one, fuck politics. Two, they don't matter. What you do in your life matters. That's how I feel. Control what you can. But that's a whole other thing. But two, you know, don't be so far to just be a good person. Just have a well-rounded plate, right? Or a few plates. And, you know, with the carnivore diet, what we're lacking is vitamin E, vitamin C, folate, fiber, and magnesium majorly, right? And so what we're going to make sure is, at least what I'm going to make sure is if I'm focusing on a lot of meat, I get those in some way. You know, things like blueberries and frozen spinach, right? I throw some ginger root with that. I'll have, you know, the yogurt and cottage cheese, the chia seeds, and they'll give me more fiber, right? And so I make sure that I cover those bases. And if I wasn't able to have a well-rounded enough plate, I'll take a multivitamin that day to ensure I got all the vitamins and minerals that are, you know, necessary for proper physiological functioning, right, and overall health. So now we've eaten, and what do I do if the schedule was crazy and it was a little bit late, you know, and I've eaten closer to bed than I would like to, or even if I didn't eat that close to bed, right? Well, what I'm going to do is go for a walk. And this is something that has been a game changer for me as well. You know, in terms of my quality of sleep, my body composition, really everything. After you eat all that food, go walk. Go walk. Just go outside. And you know what's even better? Go walk in the grass, be in nature, right? Go walk, get some fresh air, even if you're not grounding. If you want to, it's great too. But, you know, when you walk, it's improving your digestion. It's going to improve your quality of sleep, how you're handling that food. You don't want to go to bed super full, right? And so, aside from being super full, what else do I make sure before I go to bed that I did or did not do? I make sure I didn't chug a lot of water. I don't want to wake up and have to pee all night. It's going to disrupt your quality of sleep. I make sure I did not look at my phone for at least 30 minutes, an hour before bed. All right? Obviously not having any stimulants either. It's a no-brainer. But I don't look at that. It could disrupt your quality of sleep. Could even make it harder to fall asleep. If it doesn't make it harder to fall asleep, again, could, you know, disrupt your proper recovery for your brain and your body while you're sleeping, right and simple. And I make sure that my room is very cold. You know, I have the AC on, blasted, you know, typically 65 degrees, you know, and you could just put an extra blanket on. But they did a study at the University of Southern Australia. I reference here at One Wellness all the time. The number one factor contributing to insomnia in a bunch of these people was temperature regulation. You know, that room has to be cold. So those are some big ones for me. Not eating that close to bed. If I ate a little closer to bedtime, going for a walk after I ate. I'm going for a walk after I had dinner. Regardless, I say that because it's really one meal that I have all day, right? You're making sure the room is cold. You're not looking at your phone, and pee right before you go to sleep. Pee right before you go to bed, okay? And another huge one is I get in bed 9 hours before I have to wake up. We're not perfect. If you get in bed 8 hours before you have to wake up, are you going to get 8 hours of sleep? If you could fall asleep in the snap of a finger, you'll be close, right? 7 hours, 59 minutes, even if it takes you a minute, right? But getting in bed, and I can fall asleep pretty quickly, but getting into bed 9 hours before I have to wake up has put me in a position where, okay, even if it takes me a half hour, even if I have to get up and pee, whatever the hell it is, I'm going to be able to fall asleep and still get my 8 hours of sleep. And that is absolutely essential, right? And then I wake up the next day at a consistent time, which is another important thing for sleep, having a consistent sleep schedule, and I do it all again. So that is what has worked so well for me in my life in terms of my mental and physical fortitude and my happiness and my ability to give other people as much as I can, my patience, my family, my friends. And that's why I feel great at 33, baby. So I hope that, you guys at least could get something good out of that. If not, whatever. But if you want to share with me something that you like about your routine, maybe I didn't mention, or something else you have a question about, I would be happy to talk about it. All right. So before we go, it's Eric Tang's birthday as well. So we're going to sing to him and me. No, this one's for you, man. God, I love you. Known you forever. Brothers for life. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Eric Tang, who I was born in the same hospital on the same day as, 2 minutes apart, been best friends our whole lives, absolutely insane. Happy birthday to you. And so many more, man. I'll talk to you at some point today. We're going to have a phone call. What's up? Who do we got? A lot of homies out here because we were long video today. James, what's up? OG. Amanda. Yeah. Ben, I appreciate you, brother. It's been working great for me, man. I'm glad it works for you. Thank you. Aw, dude, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Made my day. Ma, I know. You remember hearing his mom giving birth, right? STT. What's up, Geneva? Luke Rath of Knob. Oh, Ma, you're the absolute best. Yes, and that's another thing, whether you're spiritual or whatever, you believe there's, and I should say, there's more to life. That's also important. Yes. Hell yeah, Slim Shreds. Master Ben. Right, dude? Marcus, what's up, brother? Nighthawk, Juanito. OG subscriber, Master Marcus. Moonbow Rabbit. Hope you have an awesome day, man. Movement is medicine. Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Oh, dude, Ben, you're the man, dude. Thank you. Sabia, what's up? Yes, writing the goals down, Ma. That's right. Derek, what's up? For trunks? No. I don't know. Thank you. This is When Wellness, yeah. If you were wondering what this is, it's a When Wellness brand. Yeah, it's this. If you want a When Wellness shirt, hit me up. Tell you what they cost. I won't make any money on it. But that's okay. Haley, what's up? The Grow Bro. Dave, what's up? Thank you, brother. Beast from Nice, I appreciate you. Thank you. Let me see who else we got. S, and a lot of numbers. Nurse, Severe, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Dude. Ben, thank you so much. Let's see. Who else do we got on here? Stress is the killer, Ma. You are right. I love you. I had a great time yesterday. Thank you for that. My mom made me an amazing meal yesterday and showed me an amazing time. So, thank you. Yes. Ash, what's up, pretty lady? Meg, Wallace, and Ralph. Well, we're going to go enjoy our birthday here, and we're going to do something fun. What up, Doc Bro Cock? How you doing, stud? I hope you have an awesome day, man. Love you, big dog. As for now, so we got for you, folks. We'll see you tomorrow, baby. Not sure where, not sure when, but we'll see you then. Have an amazing day. Have an amazing year, Eric Tang. And happy When Wellness. We'll see you guys.